There's a lot of pressure here. And he's gone! They are so close yet so far. Here it is, there's the better. Is Ryan going to be able to heal? Thanks by weapons. It might not be enough because they're not at the archetype.
Genshin champions are UCL!
So Glitch came to us as a production partner. They had secured this event with Genshin Impact, and they needed a video team that are used to working in esports, and so they came to us. We started working with them from pretty much day one. So some of the first things we had to do were finding a venue, because we knew it needed to be a live event. We wanted a live audience, so we tried to find somewhere that was relevant to the gaming space. So we found Platform, and we introduced them to Glitch.
Platform is a great venue. It's quite small, it's quite intimate in terms of an esports venue, but with that we end up getting quite a good intimate feel for the event, because at the end of the day it's a university event. It was big for Genshin, but it's not Rocket League or it's not Call of Duty. They had everything that we needed in terms of PCs, game PCs already. Glitch and Platform, they dealt with the overall look of the show.
We knew kind of what we were transforming it into, and it was a completely different thing. All of the walls were changing, the whole venue was becoming Genshinified. It was really, really well run. We didn't have any issues. It's a great place to host an event like this and to go for a drink afterwards.
So Glitch approached a staging company called Button, who basically came up with these awesome designs for the venue. They refitted all of it. So they had huge MDF plasterboard in front of every wall. It changed the whole space from basically like an orange space into a blue space, but it was very much themed on Genshin. So we had these rafters with umbrellas hanging down. We had a custom, a bespoke desk that was made for the casters, and plenty of props and other cool things that really made the venue stand out. Obviously there was a big hurdle early on in terms of Genshin Impact is a huge game now, but amongst ourselves, we hadn't actually played very much of it, so our level of understanding of the game wasn't that high. So we had to do a lot of research into other things that had happened before, try and understand the game so that we could advise Glitch on how to make the best competitive event possible. So we hadn't done an event exactly like this before. We've done plenty of live broadcasts and things within esports, within gaming. That side of it is fine, but Genshin Impact isn't really a game that lends itself to being an esport per se. So we had to find a way to turn it into a competitive gaming event that an audience could enjoy, and we worked on that hand in hand with Glitch.
With this event, it was university players, which I think was quite a good thing. With esports or sports personalities, they can come, or a lot of them can come with certain expectations and certain attitudes, whereas these guys, this was the first time they were going to be at this kind of event, so all of them were very up for being there. They were obviously very excited, and it made for a great kind of fun event.
So they're all representing their own educational institution, and they had qualifiers which included multiple teams from each university competing against each other to see which one would represent that university at the tournament.
So Genshin's not exactly a game that's designed for esports. It doesn't really have a competitive element, but Glitch and Genshin did find some kind of interesting and creative ways to make it an esport. But luckily we had someone on our team who also knew the game, who we could lean on for kind of advice.
I play Genshin Impact every day in the office. I play every day in the office. You gotta get your dailies, man. You gotta do your daily commissions, so there's what it is. My initial thoughts when I heard of a competitive event for Genshin Impact was that's kind of weird. How would that work, considering it's quite a solo adventure besides playing together, but there's no PvP element to it, which is usually what would happen at such a tournament. But I was very confused, so I was just trying to work out exactly what it was, and then once I saw some of the game titles, I was like, oh, okay, cool, that makes sense. So I guess there is scope for more competitive tournaments, especially considering how well this one went.
But let's go see our casters, and they can tell us some more about that.
Hello, beautiful grass touchers out there. We have a bunch of challenges for you today. We're going to be starting off with 2 challenges. I'm one of your commentators, Atsu, also known as Asian Guy Stream, and I'm currently joined by the wonderful
Ellie, also known as Maples. Hello, everyone.
One of the highlights of the event for me were the talent that came along. They were all really, really lovely people. We hadn't worked with any of them before. We knew that Maples and Asian Guy Stream were really big in the Genshin space. Particularly Asian Guy Stream has a huge YouTube channel, a big following. He was really, really nice. And then Jari as well is obviously very well known as a Twitch streamer, body paint artist, and various other things. And she's great, really, really fun to work with.
So when they kind of came in, our first order of business was introductions, run through the show, try and get them as comfortable as possible, do a few rehearsals, but just due to the nature of how much had to be done, immediately off the bat, all three of them incredibly friendly, incredibly nice people. I think everyone was going in quite blind, quite unsure of what to expect.
So I won't lie, the talent had quite a hard day of it, really, because considering the delays that had happened the previous day with the staging issues, that really ate into our record day as well. So we were having to do lots of setup quite close to the live time. So there was a reasonable amount of stress in the room, I would say. And then the talent obviously weren't able to get their rehearsals in the way that you would ideally have them. Normally you'll bring your cameras in, you'll point them at the presenters and you'll say, okay, now we're going to practice the intro and we'll link into this graphic or link into this VT and things like that. We weren't able to really do much of that because we just didn't have the time. So instead, Willis and the producers were kind of huddled in a corner and they were just kind of running lines, if you like, which isn't an ideal way to do anything at all, but the talent handled it really well and then turned it out really confidently and competently in the actual broadcast. So that was a huge relief for us. They did a great job.
We had a camera roaming, and then we also had a wide and a close-up for the two hosts of the event as well. Those are the three main cameras, but then we also had cameras on the players as well, where they were sat at the computer desk.
In the gallery was me on the graphics operations station on the right. Next to me was Phil, who was game mixing, so that was any time we cut to any game, he was cutting between the players. And next to him was Rich, who was vision mixing, which, like I said, is like the general structure of the show. He was like cutting between the cameras in the studio, cutting between like the casters and Jari, the host.
I was mostly happy with game mixing because of the responsibility of the role, capturing the moments where a team actually dominates or they're doing really well. I was quite keen on that.
Oh, look at that damage!
The damage coming through is insane! Almost a one face on the La Signora. Maybe you're right, Maples. The long run play here. The shield took a long time, but they are able to burst it down so quickly.
Because look at that,
Rivers, Crimson Flames.
I think the Genshin fan base and community online were very receptive to what went on that day, and I think everyone's kind of almost waiting for the next one.
I feel everyone on the team did such a fantastic job. Inside the gallery, there was a real feeling of achievement and accomplishment afterwards.
Seeing everything come together with so many different moving parts, different departments, different clients, different teams, it was a sight to behold. By the end of the show, everyone was kind of on the same page and it made for some really great content.
That brings us to the end of the show. So can we have a huge round of applause for everyone who made this possible, the GINX TV team, Genshin Impact, obviously, and the amazing teams that took part.